Let me share with you the tale of Joseph, a 35-year-old man from the village of Aeka who still acted like a little boy. This isn't an exaggeration, it's the plain truth. Everyone in the village knew Joseph and his devoted mother, whom we all called Mama Joseph. She adored her son so deeply that she had raised him into what people openly described as a thoroughly spoiled adult. Yet, he was old enough to be a father himself. Every dawn, as the roosters crowed and the first rays of sunlight filtered through the palm frond, Mama Joseph rose early. She swept the compound, fetched water from the stream, and began cooking long before her baby stirred. Joseph, meanwhile, slept until the sun was high and blazing. He would finally shuffle out of his room in crumpled pajamas, looking as though he'd wrestled ghosts all night. His first words were always the same. "Mommy, what's for breakfast?" Mama Joseph would beam, hurry over and reply, "My darling son, I've prepared your favorite yam with egg sauce. Come, sit, let me serve you." She'd guide him to a chair and tie a cloth around his neck like a child's bib. At 35. Neighbors peeked from behind curtains, some shaking their heads, others hissing in disbelief, a few simply gazing at Mama Joseph with quiet pity. Joseph had 3 lifelong friends, Tunde, Baba, and Chidi. They'd grown up together, chasing through the village square, climbing mango trees, causing harmless mischief. But while his friends had matured, built families, and taken on real responsibilities, Joseph remained frozen in childhood. Tunde was married with 2 kids, Baba had 3 children and was constructing his own house. Chide had wed a lovely woman from a neighboring village and was awaiting their first child. Joseph, he still called out to his mother each morning asking what there was to eat. The village women never ran out of things to say about him. Evenings at the stream, as they balanced jerrycans on their heads, the gossip flowed freely. Mama Duke, who ran the local food store, often started it. "Have you seen Mama Joseph's son lately? That big baby." Another would chuckle. "The man is 35, grey hairs are even appearing." Grey or not, someone else would add, "He still acts like he's on the breast." Laughter would ripple through the group. Then there was Auntie Peju, the village's loudest busybody and self-declared love expert. She never let Joseph pass without a shout from her veranda. "Joseph, my son, when are you bringing a wife home, or do you plan to marry your own mother?" Joseph would speed off on his motorcycle, pretending not to hear, but her voice chased him down the road. "Run all you want, or old age is coming fast. Soon even your mother won't be able to cook for you." One afternoon, Tunde, Baba, and Chide decided it was time for an intervention. They found Joseph lounging under the mango tree in shorts and a vest, glued to his phone, while Mama Joseph prepared lunch inside. The friends exchanged glances and shook their heads. "Joseph, we need to talk," Tunde began. Joseph looked up with a wide smile. "My brothers, welcome. Sit, sit. Mommy's making jollof rice. She'll bring some out soon." Baba cleared his throat. "That's exactly why we're here. You are 35. When will you stand on your own? When will you marry and start your own family?" Joseph waved them off. "Marriage? Why bother? I have everything I need. Mommy cooks, washes, cleans. What would I need a wife for?" Chide leaned in. "You don't see it, do you? You've become the village joke. Boys half your age are marrying and raising children. Yet you can't even boil water without calling your mother." Joseph stood up offended. "What's wrong with that? She loves doing it. Why are you jealous?" Tunde gave a bitter laugh. "Jealous? We are trying to save you, brother. We have homes, wives who respect us, children who call us daddy. What do you have?" Before Joseph could reply, Mama Joseph burst out of the kitchen. "What's going on? Why are you troubling my son?" She turned to Joseph. "Don't listen to them. They are just envious because you have a mother who truly cares." The friends knew arguing further was pointless. They greeted her politely and left. As Tunde walked away, he called back. "One day you will understand. I just hope it's not too late." On their way out, they ran into Auntie Peju, who'd been listening at her window. "Ah, you boys tried though, but that Joseph, his case is closed. Even the gods can't help him now. His mother has tied him with invisible rope." The friends could only sigh and laugh sadly. Meanwhile, trouble was stirring elsewhere. Chief Adebayo, the village elder, had called a meeting of all married men to discuss community projects. Tunde, Baba, and Chide attended as married men, but when the chief noticed Joseph's absence, he asked, "Why is Mama Joseph's son?" Doesn't he belong to this village? Silence fell. Finally, someone spoke. Sir, Joseph, he's not married. Not married, but he's over 35, the chief exclaimed. Laughter and murmurs spread. The chief stroked his beard. 35 and still with his mother who does everything for him? This is disgraceful. We must act before he shames the entire village. And just like that, Joseph became official village business. A committee, 5 meddling women led by Auntie Peju, was formed to find him a wife. They took the task deadly seriously. Months passed, seasons changed. Joseph carried on comfortably, sleeping late, eating his mother's food, and doing little else. Mama Joseph ran a small provision shop. Whatever profit she made went mostly to pampering him. New clothes, shoes, expensive phones, even a motorcycle so he could cruise around looking important. The committee worked tirelessly. Auntie Peju presented 3 prospective brides and each visit was a disaster. The first girl arrived full of hope. She found Joseph lying under a mat while Mama Joseph fanned him and fed him snacks like an infant. When introduced, Joseph lazily said, "Welcome, Mommy, bring drinks." Then learning the girl was a hairdresser, he added, "Good, my mother needs her hair done. Family discount, right?" The girl invented an urgent excuse and fled. The second lasted barely 10 minutes. When asked about his occupation, Joseph proudly declared he helped in his mother's shop and saw no need for his own business. "We share everything." She suddenly developed a headache and left. The third, Chidima, a calm nurse, endured longer. She smiled through Mama Joseph's constant interruptions, and Joseph's suggestion that if married, she and his mother could alternate cooking days. When he added they'd all live together, very convenient, Chidima picked up her bag and said quietly, "Joseph, I wish you well, but I'm a nurse, not a magician." She walked out. After the third failure, the committee gathered over palm wine, defeated. "This boy is spoilt beyond repair," one declared. "It's the mother's fault. Too much love drowned him." Just then, 11-year-old Emecha, the village's cheeky comedian, overheard and chimed in. "Auntie, even my classmate Mary, she's only 11, says she won't marry Uncle Joseph. If he can't cook at 35, what will he teach his kids?" The women were stunned. When primary school children use you as a cautionary tale, your reputation is truly finished. One morning, Mama Joseph awoke ill, feverish, weak, and unable to rise. She called feebly for Joseph. He eventually stumbled in, still half asleep. "Mommy, I'm not well," she whispered. "Could you make us some tea and bread?" Joseph panicked. He fumbled through the kitchen, making awful tea. Wrong order, no hot water first. His mother drank it anyway, touched that he'd tried. For 2 weeks she remained sick, and Joseph had to manage alone. He burnt rice, ruined eggs, stained clothes pink in the wash, and swept dirt from corner to corner. He discovered how expensive food was when buying from Mama Aduke's store and endured her loud laughter. Then something unexpected happened. A graceful young teacher named Amara arrived from the city to work at the village school. Every unmarried man noticed her elegance and poise. Joseph, cruising on his motorcycle, spotted her looking lost and offered help. He gave her a ride to her landlord's house, boasting the whole way about his importance. Auntie Peju, watching, raced over to warn Amara, "Stay far from that Joseph. 35 years old and still asking, 'Mommy, what are we eating?' He can't cook, clean, or wash his own underwear. Total red flag." Despite the warning, Joseph pursued her, riding past the school, appearing wherever she went. Finally, he confessed his interest. Amara listened politely, then asked about his plans, his independence. When he admitted there was no rush because his mother needed him, she replied gently but firmly, "Joseph, I'm looking for a responsible man who can stand on his own. I don't think you are there yet." A crowd had gathered. Village drama draws people like flies. Children shouted exaggerated jokes. Adults joined in. Joseph stood humiliated as laughter rang out and Amara walked away. That night, her words haunted him. For the first time, he saw the truth. At 35, he had no skills, no independence, nothing to offer anyone. The next morning, instead of waiting for breakfast, he confronted his mother in the kitchen. "Mommy, we need to talk. I love you and I'm grateful, but your love has been too much. You've kept me a child in a man's body. I can't survive without you, and that's not right." Tears filled her eyes as realization dawned. She had thought she was protecting her only child. Instead, she had crippled him. "I want to learn," Joseph continued, "to cook, clean, manage money, contribute here. I want to become a real man." Mama Joseph, heart aching yet proud, agreed to support him. Change began immediately. She woke him at dawn, not to serve him, but to teach him. Early attempts marked medical disasters: burnt food, oversalted soup, cut fingers, and swept dead from corner to corner. He discovered how expensive food was when buying from Mama Aduke's store and endured her loud laughter. Villagers watched in amazement. Joseph bargaining at the market, washing clothes at the well, sweeping the compound. At first they mocked, but soon respect grew. Women offered tips, laughter turned to encouragement. His first solo jollof rice took 3 hours instead of 1. Oil explosions, sugar instead of salt, flooded floor, but it was edible and he'd made it himself. When Tunde, Baba and Chide visited and tasted his improving cooking, they were astonished. Joseph apologized sincerely for dismissing their earlier warnings. They embraced him, overjoyed to see their old friend finally emerging. Months later, Joseph managed the shop accounts, saved money, and trained in motorcycle repair. The village buzzed with his transformation. One day at the market, he met Amara again. This time he spoke humbly about his growth. She listened, impressed. "Maybe we could have dinner," she said with a smile. "I'd like to taste your cooking." 6 months after that, the village celebrated Joseph and Amara's traditional engagement. The compound overflowed with color, music, and joy. Mama Joseph, in a place of honor, wept happy tears, gaining a daughter, not losing a son. In his speech, Joseph thanked his mother for learning to let him fly, his friends for their tough love, and Amara for the rejection that woke him up. The story of Joseph spread far beyond Ekal. Parents now tell children, "Don't end up like old Joseph. Learn to stand on your own." And whenever someone shirks responsibility, villagers tease, "So you want to be 35 still asking, 'Mommy, what are we eating?'" Joseph takes the jokes in stride. He knows real manhood isn't about age or possessions. It's about responsibility, growth, and the courage to change, no matter how late you start. Better to wake up at 35 than to stay asleep forever. Please like this video and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching.